If I showed you this, then this, you might think AI was involved or a more skilled artist made it. Actually, it's the same piece with a workflow upgrade. But before I get into the how and the why, let's cover the what. The model comes from a tutorial I made for this channel a couple of years ago. If you've watched my tutorials previously, you'll know I try to convey the message as succinctly as possible and without paid add-ons, because there's no need for a 40-minute video for a 4-minute technique. Plus, making tutorials accessible means anyone can follow along. I'm not against paid add-ons or learning new software if they're worth it. Kaizen, who you've probably seen, has a great video on how to judge add-on usefulness, and I highly recommend it if, like me, you're prone to buyer's remorse. So how does all this tie into my Claymore glow up? Well, I switched from 3ds Max to Blender 2 years ago, and I bought Simon Fuchs' drone tutorial on Gumroad. I've talked about it before, and it's still the best tutorial I've ever seen. Sadly, I never finished it because the texturing was done in Substance Painter, and at the time I didn't have it. That was 2 years ago, and since then I've upgraded my hardware and got deep into Blender's procedural texturing, which made me wonder if I actually need Substance Painter, and can it do anything Blender can't. To find out, I revisited the final parts of Simon's tutorial. Seeing him texturing Substance Painter illustrated how useful it is, acting like a GUI for procedural texturing. Also, because I want to get into the games industry, Substance Painter is practically a requirement. As I don't earn from 3D yet, I don't take big purchases lightly. I'm not a big fan of subscription software, but you can get Substance Painter with a perpetual license on Steam for £167 or $215 if you're American. The Claymore had been in my portfolio for a while, and I curate my portfolio in a spreadsheet to drop out weaker work and replace it as I improve. The main issues with it were the texturing and presentation, with the model itself being fairly solid, except for faceted corners caused in the normal bake. Annoyingly, I hadn't kept my high and low body versions, but fixing this one area was fairly easy. Text Tools, a free add-on I'd had for ages but never fully used, has a simple system for assigning vertex colours, which allows for easy selection masks in Substance Painter. Since upgrading my PC, I'd also lost access to Illustrator, but found Inkscape as a free alternative SVG program. With this, it's easy to make the text masks for the front and back for the wording on the Claymore. To further test my first foray into Substance Painter, I also modelled some basic crates as a new backdrop for the renders, and despite the massive quality jump, texturing in Substance Painter took a fraction of the time, even with zero prior experience. I added the updated Claymore back into my portfolio, confident that it's now elevating rather than detracting from my standard. My main message with this video is to keep leveling up your workflow and curate your portfolio to reflect your current skill level. I hope you find this useful or inspirational, and thank you for watching, and take care.